Welcome back. It's another night in Gary. The crowds are as absent as ever from the city streets, where only the occasional vagrant can be seen pushing along their shopping cart of supplies or looking around suspiciously as they look for a place to rest in these troubled nights. So, what is Julianne doing this night?
So, Julianne would like to go to the entrance of the sewers, where she knows that they have encountered whispers. She's, trying to remember the place where they encountered her. Her little, I don't know, office or whatever that was. Or maybe find a rat or something that can point her towards the right place.
So you try to go back to where you exited the last time? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, give me a wits and streetwise.
Okay.
Yeah, not incredibly strong showing there. But to be fair, it's not a very difficult thing to do. She has been there and she will remember the approximate location. And it would be quite close to the airport, but east of the airport. Does she want to walk there, or how is she planning to get there?
Yeah, she will walk. She doesn't have any kind of vehicle at the moment.
Well, walking then along the Gary streets, and when, well, there aren't really streets anymore, she continues walking because there are roads, but many of the roads, especially outside of the immediate downtown, there are no sidewalks, so you would just be walking alongside the roads. She comes to she remembers the big sort of open area and can see the drainage pipe that she and the others were taken out of last time they went here to meet with Hoyt. I assume she's bringing with her a flashlight or something of that nature.
Yeah, that is a good idea, considering it was very dark in there. Yeah, I guess then it is open, right?
Well, there's a grating there. Last time, Whispers basically just kicked it open or ripped it off and then put it down, but she put it back in place when you guys left, so it's a big sort of, it's a rusty sort of iron grate, but it is sort of jammed into place with quite a lot of force.
Oh god. Well, I don't know if she has the strength to dislodge it.
She can try.
Yeah, sure.
And she can also, well, she can use blood, of course, to will give herself more strength, I guess.
I think she would try as is
Okay.
for the time being. So what is it? Just straight strength?
Strength and yeah, it's probably straight strength. I was thinking athletics, but it's not really relevant. I think it's just pure strength.
Okay. I mean, it's my choice not to use blood.
Yeah, so she tries her best to sort of grab and sort of try to drag it and sort of get it loose. But yeah, it's jammed pretty good in place.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to. I think, well, she will try and recall what um, Mary Adamu said about sort of guiding the blood,
Mm-hmm.
using it where it needs to go, and yeah, I guess try and bolster her strength.
Okay.
Oop. So I don't know. Is it 1 for 1? I don't know. I haven't.
It is 1 for 1, or and you can use up to 2.
Yeah, let's use 2.
Okay.
Oh, really?
She continues grabbing at it and starting to rip at it, and starting to piss her off quite a bit as it starts to hurt. It's not like she's getting blisters or anything yet from sort of dragging and pulling at it, but it's starting to hurt just a little bit with trying to drag and this sort of rusty, like jagged grate that is in the way of this pipe.
Okay. Alternative
Okay.
attempt. Simply bang on the metal with the flashlight, hoping that will make enough noise, and sort of just yell, hoping that either Whispers or one of her minions might hear.
Okay.
Just go, yeah. Hello, could someone let me in?
Okay. I don't know what role that would be, trying to be loud. Stamina? Let's go stamina.
Oh god, this is thinking I don't really want to have to use more blood for this. But looking at my stamina, oh boy. For now, let's just see how that goes. Not well, okay. Jesus.
Yeah, well, she shouts into the darkness, bangs on the grating. No reply is heard.
Mm-hmm. Jesus. Should I spend more blood? Yeah. I guess.
Okay.
2 more.
Okay. Yeah, she starts yelling quite a bit louder after not getting a reply and just keeps at it for a while, banging on the grating. And after a little while, a mouse comes to the, or not a mouse, a rat comes to the other side of the grating, and it just sort of looks at her for a little bit, and then comes out through the grate, and it starts sort of running along in a in the, not the direction she came from, but in the direction of the sanitation plant that is not that far away. It's sort of opposite the airport on the map. I don't know if is it actually, no, it's not actually marked on the map, but it's right here. I don't know if you saw that, but it's right there.
Yeah, I did. So that's still on this side of the river.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the rat will start to move in that direction, but every once in a while it will look behind to see if you're following or not, and will only move if you are.
Yeah, Julianne will follow the rat.
Approaching the big sort of sanitation plant, I guess, the sort of stench is getting just progressively worse, as it is the main sort of sewage treatment facility, and it is a rather old one at that. It is not the most pleasant place to be. And as she walks between the big sort of big cylindrical, almost like towers, but they're not that tall, but that sort of where the waste treatment is actually being done, these huge vats. She sees the rat move towards sort of this little shack that is sort of next to one of these big vats. And I say shack, but it's like a little old office building, but it's tiny, but it's next to one of these like vats, and the rat just sits outside the door.
Okay. Well, she walks up to the door and knocks.
After a little just knocking, you hear someone sort of get up from sitting behind a desk on the inside of the little office and moves to the door. And I will just see, this is the man you see. Let's see here if I can show you. He should come up now.
Yes.
He looks very disheveled. He also looks quite tired and just bored, and as he sees you on the other side of the door, he just opens it and goes, you the one I'm waiting for?
It depends on who you're waiting for.
At that moment, the little rat squeaks, and he looks down and is like, yeah, I got it. And the rat runs off. At which point he goes, so what are you doing over at the East Tunnel? I work for, you know who.
Okay, well, I was looking for you know who.
I see. Well, uh, is it urgent?
Well, not life or death, I guess, but I was hoping to speak to her.
What I'm asking is it urgent enough to where we need to go down into the sewers?
Then I guess it is, yeah? Why?
Lovely. And he just sort of puts on these like big sort of like Wellington boots that he's got just standing at the ready at the almost at the door. He puts on this big sort of um uh poncho looking thing that he just sort of ties up, so he's only got like a tiny slit for his eyes left, and then he puts some big like goggles on top of that, and you can just hear him basically muffle through. He just says follow me, and then moves out and locks the door as you leave the office. And again, he has a flashlight, and he moves over to the like one of these big vats that has like a door on it. He goes in, at which point you see on the inside of these facilities it's completely sort of rusted. It's quite surprising that it's operational at all, considering the state of it. It looks just completely run down, and you don't see anyone else working here at all, so that's also quite surprising. As he moves down, he takes a little staircase down and comes to this mouth of one of these tunnels, and he basically at this point he has like a next to the doorway, he's got what looks like an old pair of night vision goggles that he puts on the outside of his other goggles. At which point he also says, you're gonna have to give me your flashlight. You'll get it back when we get out of here, but the boss doesn't like other people to really know where her little hidey holes are, so I'm afraid you'll be walking in the dark behind me. If that's a problem, you can turn around, but...
No, I don't really blame her. And she just hands over the flashlight.
He just puts it in his belt and then moves into the tunnel. And he basically has this, like... he basically just moves a little bit ahead of Julianne and just continually... makes noise, just chattering, not really saying anything in particular, but just sort of making noise to let her know where he is. And he starts moving through these sewage tunnels where they are at any given moment basically up to their thighs in the most disgusting waste that you can imagine. So I'm sure Julianne finds that lovely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But she would still try and actually make conversation. So she would just start with, well, what is your name anyway?
Rob. Well, Robert, but they just call me Rob.
Okay. You like Rob to be called as?
It's what everybody calls me now. I was stuck, so I don't really mind it.
Okay. Rob it is, I guess. You've been employed for long with
At the
her,
plant?
I mean.
Well, it's not really employed, as it were, but yes, I have been an associate of hers, I guess you could say, for going on 40 years now. And it was long, just trudging through the tunnels.
40? I mean, you don't really look that old.
You just hear him stop for a little bit. And then he just goes, "That new, huh? I heard that there were some new ones around." Yeah, well, just like your kind does, well, associates of your kind can also live for quite a long time given the, well, proper treatment, I suppose. And he'll just move. To him moving through the tunnels.
Yeah. I am very new. I don't really know anything about this whole life, or, well, unlife. So you're neither, what was the word, kind nor a kindred.
I would be closer to what you imagine to be kind than I am kindred, but yes, well, your kind calls me a ghoul. There are quite a few, I think, around the city. I know there are plenty over at the, and he just says it in a bit of like a snarky tone. He just goes, "At the palace."
Oh, so you know Gable? Victor?
By reputation. Not good friends.
Reputation?
Yeah, well, he assists the prince with things, as far as I know. Again, we don't really travel in the same circles. I mainly just tend to the sanitation plant for
All by
her
yourself?
and for the city. Well, me and two others on the, actually four others, I think, now in the day shift, but I'm the only one on the night shift. Well, it's better this way for everyone.
If you say so.
I do say so. And he just continues trudging along. And you feel every once in a while he takes a sudden left turn or a sudden right turn, and every time he does so, he basically lets you know that he is moving into it. He goes, "Oh, left here and right here," whatever. Other than that, he only really talks when responding to something you're asking him about. Otherwise, he doesn't really seem very talkative. And after about 10 or 15 minutes of walking through these tunnels, he again goes left here, and then you, for the first time in a long time, at the end of this tunnel, and it doesn't go on for very long, you can see some light hitting sort of the back of it. And let me just see now. just. By the way, is there anything more you want to ask Rob about?
Julianne just wanted to ask if he has any friends then, or if he's lonely at his job.
He'll just say, I have my little TV. I'm happy with that. Other than that, I can associate with people that I wish to, but I kind of like the silence.
Well, if it suits you, then I guess, well, good for you.
And coming to a corner of the tunnels, this is what she sees as she moves around the corner. She sees that the water suddenly stops, and at sort of waist level there is this sort of sluice that is put down, stopping the water from going this way, or the sewage. It's not really water from going this way. And on the other side of the sluice is where the light seems to be coming from. And as Rob walks down this tunnel, he takes up the, you can see that he takes up the goggles as he approaches, and then moves over sort of a bit to the side to let you go past him and go over. And on the other side, there is Whispers, and she's just messing around with what looks to be some sort of documents at, or she's actually like here, messing around with some documents at a desk. And she doesn't seem to really do anything once you climb over, even though it's quite obvious that you are climbing over, as, I mean, you're sort of splattering and making a lot of noise and as you're moving around. And Rob just sort of yells in whether should I wait, or do you want to escort her out yourself? At that, sort of Whisper's head just goes around, just showing her big sort of her big eyes with her little like beady pupils in it, and she'll just go, I'll take her out, it's fine. And he just goes, here then. And he hands you the flashlight.
Julianne takes the flashlight and just says, well, thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And he just looks, well, as happy as ever, and starts trudging back out of this tunnel.
Well, Julianne just walks a bit further in and looks around.
Well, it's a it looks to be like one of these chambers that can be used in the, well, that was used, I guess, in the well, a long time ago to sort of filter sewage. So it has a lot of these big pipes that are coming into the room, where I mean, that's these big things here. And two of them now seem to be on the one side of the room, hooked up to this like generator looking thing on the side here, probably leading the smoke outside. And the generator is making quite a bit of racket, but it has a bunch of wires coming out of it that goes to her computer setup that she's got and a lamp that she has on her little table. But otherwise, she has some papers and she has this like moldy, disgusting looking mattress on like a bed frame and a big table set up at the sort of the opposite side of the room with some sort of like shelving under it where there seems to be all sorts of wiring and just spare electrical parts, really.
Okay. Well, yeah, Julian walks a bit further in, looks around, and starts to approach Whispers. Well, I really appreciate you seeing me, Miss Whispers. So there's just a couple of things I was hoping to discuss with you.
Yep.
Well, you see, I was maybe hoping to make some kind of a deal with you.
At that, she just sort of turns around in the chair, sort of sitting with her legs and everything sort of draped over the back of the chair, and she just goes, "Deal, huh?"
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure someone like you is quite well established, considering how long you must have been here.
Yeah.
But regardless, I thought even if you might have your sources, I could offer myself to be maybe another. You see, I am fairly efficient at getting my hands on things. And I'm sure that from time to time it's nice to have some extra supplies at a place like this with someone who, well, would be discreet, I guess.
Yeah. That does sound handy. Let me give you some advice as well. I've seen the bunch of you. You seem to be hanging around a lot. Around the Genesis Tower building.
Yeah. What about it?
It's well, it's a strange place, really. It's how do I describe it? It's got a bad mojo. Do they still say mojo? I don't know. Mojo. It's the best word I can come up with. It's it doesn't feel right, that place. I don't think it's necessarily that dangerous for our kind, but since all of you seem to be hanging around there, yeah, you probably should know that. Yeah, it seems to be something odd about the place.
I did sense that.
Well, you got a perceptive eye. I would also say, you should take care to not let anyone know where you're staying.
Well, I'm doing my best. I don't know about the other ones.
You mean at that place off Broadway? They're quite easy to follow, you know.
Well, I don't think I'm going to move, but
All I'm saying is, you should probably, especially given recent nights, take some extra care when moving around. Because, well, the prince asked me to make sure that the three of you are okay, which means that sometimes I need to follow you guys, and if you guys know that I'm following you, you will act weird, and then if somebody else is following you, they will see that you're acting weird, and then everything will go sort of to shit. So, I just wanted to let you know because obviously I have no reason to, well, do you any harm. You're not a shovel. We figured that out since last time. So, just take a little more care when moving around to not go straight to places and back home and that sort of thing. It's usually how people
wait.
spot where you live.
Okay. Well, I will keep that in mind, ma'am. Thank you.
No problem.
So were you the one who was at ITSOC's church?
It's church. I've
Yes.
been to the church once, but twice, no, 3 times. Yeah. But I don't know what you're referring to when you say I've been at his church.
Well, last time at Mr. Royce's, Isaac mentioned that he thought there was someone at his church. Someone was watching him.
Ah, yes, yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people skulking around the church. I think they might just be well, I don't think they like him very much, but I checked them out. They're not our kind. I don't know what they are, but
Okay.
they're not our kind.
So they can be just people?
What do you mean?
I mean, just normal people.
Yeah, they're normal people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can probably tell you this because... Why not? You have, a bit of moxie daring to come down here to talk to me on your own. Not a lot of people come down here. Some of us have this, ability. Like, you've probably noticed many abilities already, but one of the abilities is to be able to sense things that other people don't really sense. And one of these things is they're able to see what people are. So they're able to tell whether, well, whether somebody's our kind or they're just kind, something else. You can tell. And I can tell.
Well, that must be useful.
It's quite useful. Especially when, well, you live this far away from everyone else.
Okay. So I guess when you follow us around, you can see who's kind of dangerous and who's not.
To a certain extent, All I can tell you is that these people that keep hanging around ITSOC's church, they don't like him.
Do you know why?
I have no idea. But they...
I'm not saying he's likable, but
Well, they're...
still.
Well, they're not armed. They're not armed and they're just looking at the church. So at this point, I don't see a point in intervening. For all I know, they just don't like that he's got this, I don't even know what to say, this, like, Scientology vibe going on. I think that's what they don't
Well,
like.
I can't say I like it either.
But anyway,
But,
that's I don't think any of you have picked up on me being there. It doesn't seem like any of you have noticed me. I tend to keep my distance.
I certainly didn't notice, and now I feel somewhat of a fool. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I guess, well, there's a lot I don't know about this.
Yes, well, my lineage, I guess you could say, know a thing or two about not being spotted. It's... Well, you've been told about the Masquerade. It's quite a lot more difficult for us to, well, not break it. Which means that we need to be better at hiding. A lot better. And we're quite good at it. If I can toot my own horn for a little bit.
So, you think that other one in the truck? Well, it looked like it was probably your kind. If he needs hiding, but if he's as new as we are, then he doesn't necessarily know how to hide.
Yeah, the thought had struck me, but there hasn't been any sign of him, I'm afraid. I couldn't find him anywhere. Or her, I guess. But,
Maybe Torrance found him.
yeah, possible. Possible. I guess he wouldn't say if he did, right? Why would he? He didn't seem like the most, talkative of people.
He seemed, I don't know about talkative, but plenty evil.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I had a very bad feeling about it.
Mo?
Just, I don't know, a fear that went right to my bone, you know.
Huh. But you were also terrified of me when I met you. I'm not evil. Maybe I'm okay. I wouldn't say I'm good, but I'm okay.
Look, I don't know what this thing is, but I know that I have prayed all my life. I have done everything I could to appease God. But now I'm here, and I don't think this is a place where, well, God has his eyes on. And No offense to you, but I don't think anyone in this kind of existence is looked kindly upon by God. And in that I also include myself.
Well, I don't know much of one thing or the other when it comes to that, but I've been around for a little while and quite interesting how many things I've heard that God likes or doesn't like, or I'd just keep an open mind if I were you. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're all damned and who knows. But, the big important thing I find is that it is a lot easier in this new existence to lose yourself to the hunger that you didn't know existed before you became, well, what we are. That's the biggest surprise, I think, for most people about this existence is just how easy it is to lose yourself. So just take it one night at a time.
I saw the other two, the way they turned into monsters at the sight of blood.
Yeah. Well, you're babies. It's bound to happen. I'd say that we all get more reasonable with age, but it varies. You saw, for instance, how Hoyt, old as he is, given enough pressure, knowing which buttons to push, we can make each other do horrible things.
Yes, well, then it's hard to believe that we're not damned.
Maybe
There's
we're being
something
tested.
monstrous.
I've heard that before too, you see. And a lot of different people turn into what we are. Not that long ago, I met a Baptist preacher. He seemed to think he was chosen, to spread God's word for eternity or some such. Everybody has a different view on this thing. All I'd say is, if you don't experience things, you'll never know for sure. That seems like a shit deal if you ask me.
Look. Ma'am, whatever your deal is or anyone else's deal in this town, I know one thing, and that is that you say you hide well, and well, I did not see you, that much is true, but you did say I'm perceptive, Well, I'm very good at noticing things that don't meet the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I've known for a very long time now is that without this existence, even when I was my own person, I was destined to be damned. I thought I could escape it, but this existence just proves to me that I can't. So, if I know anything, that much I know about myself. Even if I can't claim to know anything about you or the others.
Wow. But you're religious, yeah? Or you're not? It's hard to tell with you
Ma'am.
people these days. Huh. That's interesting. Huh.
What is?
Well, well, as long as you're Christian, isn't that a big part of that free will? Am I confused, maybe? I don't know what they preach these days, really. I haven't been in a church in a long time.
I do believe the theologists like to argue about free will, whether we do have it or whether we are predetermined to take every single step in our lives. And I don't believe this is true to be all of the Christians, but well, I know my fate. I just know the way I knew that Torrance is evil to his core. And I know that evil lurks around ITSOC as well. Evil beyond this new monster. There are just things that I know.
Well, it's not necessarily that odd that you'd think that about him. Things travel in the blood. Sometimes it's good things, sometimes it's bad things. If you have that insight, I'd use it. But I wouldn't come to rely on it like gospel. You see, I have met many an oracle in my time here. Most of them Tremere, like Miss Adamu. They seem to think they know everything, how everything is going to turn out. And their conclusions are right most of the time. How it ends might be true. But how it gets there, more often than not, they take a left turn and to avoid getting hit by a car, and that's what leads to them getting hit by a car, you know. It's how it is with soothsayers.
Well, I'm not trying to avoid anything.
All I'm saying is, this sense you've got of things being right or not right, or what's about to happen or what's not about to happen, these sorts of things. Their clarity can be deceptive. That's all I'm saying. I've seen a lot of people become over-reliant on it. I'd just avoid that if I were you.
I will consider that, ma'am.
Hmm.
Thank you. But beyond all of that, I would like to know if I were to get you things that you need,
Yes.
could I ask for your knowledge in return? You seem to know a lot about people because, well, you seem to follow them.
You've been instructed about boons, yeah?
I don't really know anything about that, ma'am.
So in our society, we have a currency more precious than gold and more important to, well, our existence than any contract. And they're called boons. They work like favors. I do something for you, I get a favor that I can chip in at a later point to get something of equal value in return. Effort, that sort of thing. I would be happy to have an arrangement where I give you information now in return for a boon which I will later chip in when I need you to acquire something. Is that what you want?
The terms do sound acceptable to me.
So what knowledge is it you want? Because different knowledge has different price depending how hard it was to come upon.
Well, you see, I was hoping for more of an ongoing arrangement than just something that is simply a one-off, because
Well, that's
I
possible.
don't think I will gain your talent of knowing things so well and finding things out so well, but I'd like to think there is value in my skills as well.
Mm. I don't disagree. I can't really just walk into a shop either. So even if I know what I need and you don't need to steal it, I can't really get it. Sending Rob is bothersome. He complains a lot. So... Well, let's do this. We'll have an ongoing arrangement. I'll trade information for small favors on a regular basis that don't involve boons, yeah? If you need anything specific, any difficult information to come by, we go back to the boon system, yeah? It's also important for the other kindred of the city to think that we aren't trying to go outside of the system, so to speak. They get antsy whenever people try to do something differently than they've been doing for quite a long time. And, well, I've been doing things for quite a long time too, but, not by their standards, I guess.
Very well.
Well, is there anything you wonder about now, or was that you're here just to set this deal up?
Well, I was wondering about Genesis Tower, but You very kindly did offer that information. Unless you
Yeah.
have anything else to share.
No, not really. Not about Genesis. I would say, though, that I know that it's a high-value property, which is why it's curious that it keeps getting shut off. All access is shut down to it every once in a while when these accidents happen. Police aren't involved in the accidents, which is odd. You'd think that they'd be called, but for some reason they're called, but they just quickly close down whatever is happening there. I've scoped it out a little bit. I can't see that there's anyone inside, really. If there is, they're good at hiding. That's an interesting thought. But
Scary, brother.
But I would say that, even though accidents keep happening to whenever they try to set it up, it seems to be the odd worker falls down an elevator shaft, I think, is the last thing that happened. Before that, what was it? Some sort of chemical burn on one of the people in the kitchens. Just these things keep happening and they just cause delays. It doesn't seem like there's any really powerful, for instance, one of my kind living in the building. It doesn't seem like anything like that. I don't quite know what it is, but if you and your group decides to check it out and figure out what's going on, I'd gladly pay for that information. I'd go in myself, but Royce told me not to, you see. He hasn't told you anything, so you can go in. Or has he told you not to go in there?
Not to my knowledge. But
Well,
then
if
again, I haven't talked to him all that much.
Well, if he hasn't told you not to go in, if you're thinking about going in, don't ask him because he might tell you not to go in. Yeah, I'd pay for that info. For sure. Anything else?
Not really, but then what would that information be worth then? Because, well, you mentioned the boons, but
Yes.
you say in full. I don't really know what that means.
Well, all I want to know is, well, you said it yourself. You can sense odd things, right?
Yes.
To a certain degree, at least. So, it could be that it's just a series of weird accidents. As possible. I've, tinkered with the thought that it might be, some sort of spirit. I mean, it's an old building. Spirits do exist. But many of the accidents seem to happen during the day. Unusual for spirits. I don't think it's impossible. I don't know that much about them, to be honest, but it just doesn't necessarily seem like that's the thing. So I'd just be interested in trying to figure out what's going on there. If there's any clues on the inside, that sort of thing. And if there isn't really anything going on inside, then, well, that's information in its own right.
I guess so. Well, alright then. I guess I will motivate the others if I don't know how interested they are, but hopefully enough to go in and then
Oh,
see
they
what's
seem
what.
plenty motivated. They're hanging around that building an awful lot. Huh.
I see. Anything else they've been doing?
Well, Isaac's been spending a lot of his time at the church. I haven't really gone inside for obvious reasons, but I haven't really been able to tell that much about what Catherine has been doing the last few days. She might be better at giving me the slip than you two are. Huh. But, she's not staying at her hotel room, that's for sure. Which is clever enough, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, she's not there.
Well, thank you for that.
Again,
And then
I will keep you to the deal that we've set up.
I wouldn't expect anything else. I was about to ask if there's anything else you need right now.
Well, not right now. Been looking into, getting some spare parts for the, generator over here. And getting some fuel for it. But I might just ask you to get some next time, you come down here. And, I got a few of these hidey holes around, so just let me know if you need anywhere pleasant to live. It's, if you can get over the smell, these places are, well, nobody comes down here. That's a good part.
Well, I suppose it's something to be considered, but right now I'm putting enough effort in that place. I'd like to see how that works out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen you've been messing around with the stairs. I don't really know what you're doing with the stairs, but, I mean, it seems like you're taking, some caution, which is good. But again, just, yeah, start taking a bit more unorthodox, paths home. Probably a good idea.
I will do. Thank you. Well then I don't think I will borrow more of your time.
Well, I think I'll still have to show you out.
Yes, well, I wouldn't know where to go.
That's fine. I can show you out. The nearest way out isn't that far. And she will just plop up from her chair and sort of start moving back toward sort of go over this sort of the sluice, and we'll just start moving back up. And we'll again just sort of be humming in her hoarse voice as she moves along. Now just talking about the general pleasantries of whatever is sort of going on in the city, you know, like he's talking about this new computer screen that she's interested in getting down here and all that sort of things. Just normal things, boring things. And again, she moves around the tunnel, snake left and then right and then right again and then left and then right and then right and then left. And after walking around for almost 10 minutes, you spot the lights coming from one of these drainage pipes. This one does not have any grating on it. And as you approach it, she will hand you the flashlight that you handed to her when you came into the room. And she'll say, until next time then.
Yes, well, it was a pleasure, I guess. Do I go to the plant every time I want to see you?
Probably best for now. Rob knows the way.
Alright, I'll do that then.
Yep.
Thank you for your help again.
No problem. By the way, you can always, if it's just something quick, you can send a message to this number. And she just sort of, if you let her, she'll just sort of be sort of requesting to just hand over your phone to her, and then she'll just put in a number. I'll just say, this number, don't call it, just send it messages. I'll send messages back. It's set up in a way to where I get the messages on the computer, you see, and the calling that doesn't really work, so don't do that. But yeah, if it's something quick, you can do that. But yeah, again, be wary of the Masquerade. Don't send anything like, oh, what powers do La Sombra have? Like, don't do that. That's not a good idea.
I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah. Until next time, then. And she just sort of slinks back into the darkness.
Okay. Yep, well, Julian will walk home, but yeah, she will take a windier route and try and make sure that she's not followed. Already starting to take Whisper's advice.
Then that's where we're going to end this little side episode, I think. So, until next time.